Hello, MBAP 518 International Business students. This is Dr. Jaros with a video explanation for how I graded exam number 3. So let's look at question number 1. Describe the obstacles to companies meeting the needs of the global poor. Well, there are basically two kinds of obstacles. One are the physical and cultural and social realities of trying to do business in poor countries. Poor countries are often characterized by the limited buying power of the people, government corruption, poor infrastructure, limited educational opportunities, poor health care, and violence in the form of civil wars or terrorism. All of these are obstacles that must be overcome for companies to do business in poor countries. But also there's a psychological dimension. Managers of global multinational companies often have misperceptions and misconceptions about doing business in poor countries. They often believe that the obstacles I just mentioned are insurmountable, when in fact, in many cases, they can be surmounted, can be overcome via investments in things like supply chain management and technology. So those are the two factors that must be overcome to serve the needs of the global poor. Okay, let's look at question number 2. If I am a manager at Ford Motors and I am responsible for human resources practices in our subsidiaries around the world, what kind of management role am I playing? Or generally, what are the responsibilities of this kind of manager in a global firm? Well, there were 3 kinds of managers that were described in the Chapter 7 reading. There was the worldwide functional manager, the global business strategist, and the worldwide subsidiary manager. Of those 3, the correct answer is the worldwide functional manager, because the worldwide functional manager is responsible for the carrying out of a business function such as HR or production or marketing or research and development on a global basis across all the subsidiaries. So that's the correct answer. There are 3 basic roles that are associated with being a worldwide functional manager. And those are worldwide intelligence scanner, meaning it's your job to gather information globally on your function. Champion of transnational innovation, meaning it's your job to make sure that the function remains innovative and cutting edge so as to remain competitive globally. And cross-pollinator of best practices, meaning if, in this case, a good human resource management idea is developed in the Russian subsidiary, we need to make sure that that gets cross-pollinated across the other subsidiaries around the globe. All right, let's look at question number 3. Why is Levendary Corporate Headquarters concerned about how the Chinese subsidiary is being run? Explain those factors of concern. Well, there are basically 2 categories of concerns that headquarters has about how the Chinese subsidiary is being run. Number 1 is Mr. Chen, the leader of the Chinese subsidiary, is apparently not running the stores in China in accordance with the marketing and design practices that have been established by the company. In other words, Mr. Chen, in opening stores in China, has frequently changed the decor of the restaurants so that they don't fit with the customers, with the company standards, and he has also changed the menu at restaurants in China in ways that are not compatible with company standards. The second factor is financial. Despite opening up more than 23 subsidiaries or restaurants in China in a short period of time, the Chinese subsidiary continues to lose money. He has not reached the break-even point. Of even more concern are the accounting practices. Mr. Chen and his team are not reporting their financial results to headquarters in a format that is compatible with GAAP standards, which could get the company in trouble with financial regulators in both China and the USA, such as the IRS. So those are the major areas of concern. Finally, question number 4. What kinds of issues did IKEA face with their global rug business? Has it handled these issues successfully or no? Well, the key issue with the global rug business has been the use of child labor at supplying firms in India and in Pakistan as well, I believe, but primarily in India. In other words, IKEA doesn't own rug making factories in India, but the companies it contracts with, the contractors, the suppliers that provide it with those rugs, they have been found on multiple occasions to be using child labor, which runs against IKEA's ethical standards. Has it handled these issues successfully? I would say yes and no. Yes, in the sense that IKEA has taken steps working with third-party NGOs and the Indian government to try to reduce the incidences of child labor in these subsidiary contractors, and there's been progress made. But on the other hand, as of the time of the case, the problem has still not been eliminated. It's still the case that incidences of child labor continue to pop up from time to time, and so IKEA has to do some thinking about whether it wants to remain in the Indian rug business. All right, those are the issues that I was looking for when I was grading Exam 3. I hope this was helpful to you, and I hope you have good luck in your other classes if you're taking other classes this semester as well.